General, for that generous introduction. And I would like, right from the outset, to wish everybody good morning. I know you had a late night yesterday, and I hope you're all back and ready to work today. May I request the panelists to come up on stage? Major General Roger Noble, Ms. Sabaria Mohammed Hussain, Professor Nicholas Kull. May I begin with some introductory remarks, and that our task today is to set out some mechanisms to counter violent extremism. We have been assisted by all of the discussions yesterday. In the opening session, the debate on definitions and root causes seemed to suggest that while terrorism and violent extremism are two sides of the same coin, there were differences requiring different countermeasures and timing. It was suggested, for example, that it would be useful to distinguish capability from intent in formulating countermeasures to separate the reactive response from proactive preventive approaches. The importance of legal mechanisms was emphasized as governments face the inevitable challenge of striking the correct balance between strengthening law enforcement to counter violent extremism with protection of human rights and rights to privacy. It was emphasized from the keynote address that with globalization, the traditional role of the military in defending national borders was no longer viable or adequate, and that what was required was a collective approach involving the global, multilateral, the regional, national, right down to the community level. In the comparison of regions, an interesting debate arose as to why oil-rich West Asia was plagued with so many conflicts, when in East Asia, dialogue and diplomatic negotiations had produced good cooperation and results on CVE. There were warnings against rising Islamophobia, which was aggravating the problem, and reference to the negative impact of climate change. Some regions like the EU appeared well advanced in policy making and implementation of joint programs on CVE, including sharing of information among practitioner networks, whereas opinion was expressed that here in South Asia we needed to do more, especially given the threat of the returning combatants from West Asia. At the same time, there was a view that there was no magic formula or template to address violent radicalization, and we should even be wary of terms like lone wolf, since such attacks rarely occurred in isolation. Moreover, de-radicalization efforts were difficult and had to be studied over the horizon to judge their success. So our distinguished panelists faced the challenge of taking up all these thoughts from yesterday and broadening the discussion with something new. What could that be? I suggest that one theme from yesterday needs our focus today, and that is the thought that we need to understand the narrative of the terrorist, and we need to set up alternative narratives. For example, it was suggested that the technology at our disposal could be better used to disrupt violent acts at their different stages. But how do we know when such acts are about to take place? So it is then not just about taking down websites and online magazines, propagandizing violent extremism, but also about presenting alternative ideas. It was suggested, for instance, that NGOs may be more effective at this than governments. So with these preliminary remarks, I give the floor first to Major General Roger Noble, who is from the Australian Army, graduating with top honors throughout his career, bridging both academia and the military, serving in a variety of regimental appointments and non-corps postings, including as Defence Advisor to the Australian Parliamentary Committee on Foreign Affairs, Defence and Trade, and also Director of Studies, Land, at the Australian Command and Staff College in Canberra. He has the honor of being the first Australian to be posted as the Deputy Commander of the mighty US Army Pacific in Hawaii, commanding 80,000 soldiers with a sphere of influence from Alaska to Korea. He will speak on US military strategy for the defeat of violent extremist organizations and implications for a proactive response.